Hey guys, Constance here from Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So we are getting round 2, or I should say last night we got round 2 of the winter storms that have been rolling through a lot of the country. And if you look outside, we've got snow everywhere, and I had someone comment that it was beautiful. As much as I love snow, and I do, this isn't the beautiful snow. This is the wet, nasty, slushy, mud everywhere kind of snow, especially after we've had all of the wetness in the past several days. And I'm just not looking forward to all of this mess melting. Thankfully, it's above freezing, so we don't have to worry about everything icing up out there today and needing to carry out buckets of water repeatedly. But it is going to be a big mess, and the chickens definitely did not like seeing this morning. I had to go out there and actually kind of shovel some spaces for them to actually come out. But I figured, since it is so ugly and nasty outside today, I'm going to do a little bit of baking. I'm going to make some gingerbread muffins, and these are a low-carb, healthy version of muffins. I'm kind of back on the bandwagon. Those of you who are new here, a couple years ago I went paleo, and I started eating the paleo diet, which essentially is a super healthy diet. I mean, no processed foods, no sugar, but also no grains, no legumes. And when I did that, I actually lost 50 pounds without even like changing anything else in my lifestyle. I just changed the way I ate. And I felt super healthy. I didn't have the joint aches and pains and things like that I dealt with. I felt better all around. And I will confess, in the last year or so, I just completely slacked off. I've been eating whatever I wanted to. And I've paid the price for that. I've had a lot of body aches. I feel like I get up in the morning and I feel like an old woman. And gained a little bit of the weight back. Nowhere near all of it, but enough that I'm not happy with it. So we're going back to it. Now, I eat that way. I do the no sugar, no grains, and all of that. However, I don't require the rest of my family to eat the way I do. So I will still make things for them, and, you know, I'll still make them spaghetti, and I'll just have something else for myself that night. And so I'm getting back to it. So this recipe, it's not 100% paleo because it does have some molasses in it. But it is low carb, it is grain free, which makes it generally gluten free, and just healthy muffins. So it's something nice that I can get up and eat in the morning and not have to cook. Yeah. Rachel over at That 1870s Homestead posted a video yesterday about getting in shape for gardening season, and shared a little bit of her working out. And so that was just sort of reinforcement that, yeah, there's going to be some very physically demanding months ahead. And about a week or so ago is when I decided I need to get back on track. And yeah, she reminded me of an extra reason as to why I needed to do that. So let's make some muffins. Alright, I've got my mixing bowl here, and in my sieve I've got a half a cup of coconut flour and a half a cup of tapioca flour. And I just like to sift my dry ingredients together, especially when I'm using alternative flours. Sometimes they can get a little bit lumpy. Now I'm going to add in a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of ginger, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a quarter of a teaspoon each of ground cloves and allspice. Alright, and just a pinch of sea salt. And I'm just going to sift these together. So my dry ingredients are in my large bowl, and then I have another bowl here. I'm going to pour in a half a cup of melted butter. And this is a little bit warm. So I'm not going to add my eggs quite yet. I'll add my other ingredients for this bowl first. Alright, now I'm going to add in a half a cup of coconut sugar. I think I just said half a cup. That was a quarter cup. Quarter of a cup of coconut sugar and a quarter of a cup of molasses. A half a cup of applesauce. Nope, actually I'm going to use that. You whisk these together. And now 4 eggs. I'm just going to whisk these in one at a time. Okay, now this looks like a ton of liquid in comparison to this little bit of dry ingredients right here. But coconut flour in particular is extremely absorbent, and it's going to absorb a lot of liquid. So it may look uneven at the moment, but it won't be for long. So now I'm going to add my liquid ingredients to the dry and whisk them together. Alright, now I'm just going to let this sit for just a minute. Allow that flour to finish absorbing the liquid, and then I will scoop them into the muffin pans. My oven has been heating up to 350 degrees. And this generally makes right about a dozen muffins. And into the oven for about 20 minutes or until they are golden brown. I am going to go ahead and take the muffins out of the pan and put them on a rack over here so they can start cooling down a little bit. These things smell so good, you guys. I mean, there's just something about all of those spices, the cinnamon, the ginger, and all of that. Oh, my kitchen smells fantastic at this moment. Now, something you could also do when you make these is you could stir in a couple handfuls of raisins. I don't know about you guys, but I love raisins with spicy, cinnamony sorts of things. So I'm just going to let those cool down for a couple minutes, and I'm going to enjoy one. So I thought I would come out and wrap up my video for today out here. Yesterday I had a friend of mine, or this morning, a friend of mine posted on Facebook that she was jealous of all of our snow. I told her don't be, because it's a giant swampy, soggy, muddy mess. And yeah, right here behind me it doesn't look so bad. But let me show you this. They're enjoying it. It's going to take us forever to dry out from all of this. And we had just dried out. Like, we had just gotten to where there was no more mud. And now, in a lake. So it is a disaster area around here. We have got standing water everywhere. And, you know, I have had people ask me why I like gardening with raised beds. Well, this is why. Because every winter we get sopping wet. It takes forever for everything to dry out, and when I've got my raised beds, I don't have to worry because they dry out quickly, and I'm able to garden. So even when we look like this, they're still good to go. Now, one last thing, as bad as this is, I know we could have had it way worse. We did not have any instances where we lost power. We thought for sure we would there a couple days ago because there was so much ice. Our power lines were covered with ice and we just knew it was going to happen, but it didn't. So we do feel very blessed despite the fact that we are in the middle of a lake. It could have been a lot worse. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I'm losing light and it is about time for dinner. So thanks for hanging out here again at the homestead. I will talk to y'all next time.